listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, repeat offender, co-conspirator.
Oh, I like that one.
And I don't even know what other ones we should throw in. Lisa Dunn is with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Ron. And you know what? Something tells me this show is going to be a good one today.
Exactly. Yeah, I just, while I'm chatting, Lisa, I figured, co-conspirator would probably fit in pretty appropriately.
I think that is very appropriate for the two of us. As long as there's no basketball involved, it's all good, right?
Especially when there's cameras, because I know that you and basketball are not friends when there's a camera around.
I've got the shoes for basketball playing today.
Okay. There is an inside story to that one. We may or may not have time to discuss it today, but we'll
heavens, the camera got my shoe. Okay.
Well, got the shoe. You do that enough, and we'll get some good ratings.
I don't know about that. Either that or we're going to scare everybody away.
Anything I say can and will be held against me, so I will say absolutely nothing.
Is it my show today?
That's it. Yes.
Hey, everybody, it's the Lisa Dunn Show. Thank you for joining us.
There you go. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. Let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, you know what? Call me, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Okay, we are celebrating today once again. I don't know why we would celebrate this one, but there are some, and I must admit one of my sons fits into this one. It is,
getting worried.
Boy.
What's the big idea?
National Left-Handers Day. I don't know about that one. Okay, so we'll celebrate the left-handers. It is also, now I don't know if these go together. I'm going to have to call Robert Mott. Are you listening? Would you help me, please? Okay, so we're talking about today, in addition to being National Left-Handers Day, National Prosecco Day, and National Filet Mignon Day. I don't know if you can drink Prosecco and Filet Mignon together.
You drink your Filet Mignon?
Well, it depends how old you are. Just gonna...
Sorry.
I'm not sure that the two of those go together. I thought that Prosecco is probably going to go with, is not going to be a red meat, but
goes with everything. Everything goes with everything when you want it to.
Especially if you've had enough of it.
Yeah, really doesn't matter. Now, does it?
Generally, the Prosecco comes in those real big bottles, too.
I don't know. You can get like the little starters. I've seen people
Little starters. That's called a 750 ml for you, I know. We better move right along. Let's see about
Actually,
that.
I'm a bone-in ribeye girl.
You can't handle the truth.
A bone-in ribeye.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what is it? What do they call that? At Costco, I think they call that the tomahawk ribeye.
No, it's just a bone-in ribeye. We're not going to go like super huge. I mean, but I can wipe out a 16-ouncer just fine.
No way. I know that one was... Yeah. Okay, so moving back. The markets. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 91 right now. Oil, it is down $1.40 a barrel. $1.40. What does that mean in Taxifornia terms? We're probably paying more for gasoline, but let's take a look at it for you according to AAA today. On the national level, a gallon of gasoline, $2.85.9. In Taxifornia, $3.60.8. $3.60.8. If you want to get gas, I would suggest highly today the best place for you to go to get gasoline, not that kind of gas. We're talking about gasoline. I would suggest going to Alabama. They're over $1 a gallon cheaper than we are in California. I'm sorry, Taxifornia. I should say it appropriately. I don't want to insult anybody here in the formerly Golden State. Looking at the bonds, we'll talk more about those in a minute. The 30-year bond, the Fannie Mae 30-year bond, flat. 10-year U.S. Treasury, it's basically flat, up 1 basis point on the yield. I'm going to tell you what all that means, why it's happening in the next segment. So you're going to have to stick around and listen for that one because I'm going to tell you exactly why. I'm going to tell you exactly when those interest rates are going to go back to start increasing as well. So I'll have that information for you. Precise information. You can hear it right here on Ron Siegel Radio. I will share that with you.
Are you going to share lucky lotto numbers too?
No, I was actually wondering about that, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Figured you sound like you're going to be a clairvoyant anyhow, on the interest rate, so we might as well just go,
No, you know something? I'm just wondering, and maybe you can help me out with this, Lisa. I bought, there was, I think it was a Powerball or Mega Lotto or one of those guys was like at $250 million last on Saturday. And I went to the store and I bought a ticket. I put up my $2 and it didn't work.
Imagine that.
Now, everything else that I buy, if I go to Apple and my computer doesn't work, I return it. If I go to Costco and I buy something there and it doesn't work, I don't like it, I return it. Right? Nordstrom has a policy that you can return anything, anytime, anywhere, any reason. Okay. I wonder if I can do that with my Powerball ticket.
I think it's kind of more like a TJ Maxx, Marshalls thing, all sales final. That's it. No returns. It? Yeah, I think they better put a disclaimer out for you, Ron, just so you know.
Somebody please let me know if you've ever tried to return the lotto ticket that didn't work. I asked the guy for one that had the right numbers on it, and he said he was going to do it. I mean, I don't get it. Why did he fib to me?
I had a neighbor one time who brought over a ticket saying, I won the lotto. Look, I won the lotto. And it turned out that he had the printout of the numbers that were pulled that night and actually thought that was his ticket. Okay, I don't live in that neighborhood anymore.
And I was going to say, how much were you guys drinking that night? I'm just curious.
I'm the one who said, I don't think that's a winner.
Yeah, may not have been a winner. Just saying. What else is happening in the news? Let's check it out real quick here. Nothing exciting. There was something I thought on that we missed on the end of last week, but I guess we caught it all. Taking a look this morning. How about this one? Speaking of clairvoyant, Miss Lisa,
is that like Miss Cleo?
There you go.
Sorry.
On Thursday, if you want to watch out, this coming Thursday, 100 newspapers are going to be putting in their editorials across the country fighting back against President Trump's repeated attacks on the media. So you can read those on Thursday if that's what you would like to do. Unbelievable. So, of course, then again, we did notice, I noticed, maybe you didn't, Nancy Pelosi's now saying that NBC has it in for her. Oh.
What's the big idea?
Yeah, they apparently, she's not too happy with NBC, saying that there's 50 Democrats that are against her candidacy for being the minority speaker or Speaker of the House next time. Wonder why that would be.
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, I wonder if President Obama is going to come back and try and help her out with that one. I don't know, but...
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Yeah, but that is in the news as well this morning. Unbelievable. You know, it's amazing because the Globe is saying they're going to push back on President Trump. Okay, I get that one. Or 100, they've got 100 papers to push back on President Trump. I wonder if they're going to say anything about Miss Pelosi, or if they might say anything about Mayor Bill de Blasio. Yeah, he's another one of the New York socialists, but he didn't like some questions that were coming to him. So what does he do? He pulls the credentials from a New York Post reporter and has him escorted in a very, very nice way out of the news conference. Bill de Blasio right there doing that one. Interesting. I wonder if the Globe will say anything about that. I think I can know the answer. Lisa, I think clairvoyance. I think I know the answer to that one too.
I keep thinking, is the Globe like the National Enquirer or something?
Boston Globe, I think.
Oh, I thought you meant like that one that you pick up at the checkout stand at the grocery store.
Didn't notice that paper, but I might have to borrow your copy. Just saying. Interesting stuff on here. Now, here's another one. I haven't even heard of this guy, but maybe you know who this gentleman is. It's a man named Draper. Yeah, he's a venture capitalist, and for some reason my report cut off, so I don't have his first name. He's the billionaire that is responsible for wanting to split California into 3 states. Yeah, they're looking at the normal part down here in the south. They're looking at the loony part up in the north. And Los Angeles, I think they're just going to do theirs all in Spanish. I shouldn't say that, but...
Half of me is offended.
No, it should only be a third.
No, half.
But I don't know which third. Oh.
Half Hispanic here.
Half Hispanic. Okay,
half Hispanic, so you got to watch what half is going to get mad.
And again, I will reiterate anything I say can and will be held against me for the rest of my life. Just saying there. Trouble on the horizon. We
trouble
know
in paradise.
Trouble there, exactly. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, the real estate market's changing. What does that mean to you? And I'm going to continue the theme song, not in music because I can't sing, but I have been sharing with you that if you're thinking about buying or selling a house, you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing more now than ever, because the market's changing and there's a lot of people that have never ever seen a lot of real estate professionals have never been involved in a normal real estate market. They've been involved in the boom, they've been involved in the bust, they've been involved in the rebuilding, but they've not seen normalcy. So we're going to chat about that. Are you thinking of selling your home? Competition is coming. A credit freeze will soon be free. What's that mean? Why does it matter? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Ronnie's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star is the only one I know of that has the Fast Pass loan approval. Fast Pass loan approval is letting your real estate professionals check box J4 on the residential purchase agreement. No loan contingency. You've already been underwritten. So what is happening in the mortgage world in the Mortgage Minute today? I told you I was going to talk to you a little bit about the bonds, what's happening, why it's happening, and when it will reverse. So let's get into that a little bit. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, it is down 91 points as we speak. The Fannie Mae bond is down. That means interest rates are up just a little bit, 2 basis points on the 10-year yield. That would be the 10-year rate. So what's happening? Why is it happening? And when will it reverse? Well, right now it's pretty simple. Why did we see the last 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 trading days, why did we see the Fannie Mae bond drop, or go up, and the yield, the rate drop? Well, there was a lot of demand for the bond. Why is there a lot of demand for the bond? Well, if you look and see, there's some problems over in Turkey. Yeah, their lira dropped by about 13% on Friday. 13%. So how'd you like to say that you've got a $100 bill in your pocket and you can only spend 90 of it tomorrow? Ow! Now, if you're like my wife, she'd probably just say, give me another one. That would probably be the answer. But if you're in the markets, that's not the right answer. So their currency dropped. Our president is saying that we're going to increase the tariffs on their steel. Does that mean anything to anybody? Well, let's think about that. In Turkey, it does. But if you're in the construction industry in the United States, you probably care about that a lot because the majority of the rebar in the United States comes from Turkey. So think about that part of it. Turkey's our rebar. That means construction's going to have a bit of a problem for those that are trying to start building new things and don't have that on hand. Whenever we see some of these geopolitical issues, when we saw this, if you remember a few years back when Greece had all their problems, one day the market would be down big time, the next day the market would be up big time, and as soon as the European Union decided they were going to bail out Greece, well, all of a sudden, the bond went back down, the yield went back up. That means rates went back up. And that'll be the exact same thing as that we're going to see now, because the Turkish lira continues in free fall. They've got a lot of economic problems. They're bringing it on themselves, but what's going to end up happening is our president is going to have to come up with some method of allowing Turkey to release our pastor that they've got there in jail, which is what kind of led to all of this. But he's going to have to be able to give Erdogan, President Erdogan of Turkey, some way to save face. But that's what negotiators do. That's when we're going to see this whole thing solved. As soon as the pastor is released, I would venture to bet those sanctions might come back down, and that'll be the trade-off. So the president will say, well, we'll release these sanctions on you, but you've got to release the pastor. And that'll be the day that the markets reverse. Now, how do you play that? If you've been thinking about buying a new house, if you've been thinking about selling your house to buy a new house, if you've been thinking about refinancing to take advantage of the equity you have, get rid of the mortgage insurance, the private or FHA mortgage insurance, thinking about consolidating debt, now is a great time to do that, because if all this solves tomorrow, prices will go right back up. Just the way it works. That is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. Think about that for a little while. They're the only ones I know of that has the Fast Pass loan approval. So in the house is the world traveler. Lisa Dunn is with, maybe not the world traveler.
Oh, I don't know. Give it a couple of weeks.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Where are you off to now? Off to trouble.
Well, I don't know. Let's
well,
put it this way. I think I'm going to be seeing a lot of spots where Game of Thrones is filmed. There's probably like 3 different locations in the world, but it's only one of the 3.
Okay, well, I don't even know much about Game of Thrones. I did see that, what is that guy I saw this morning? See, I'm a sheltered individual. So I saw today that Forthright, I think is the name of it. Fortnite. I don't know. Fortnite, the game. Can you imagine paying $50 an hour for your kid to get tutored to play Fortnite?
Unless they're going to get like a scholarship for playing games, which I guess they probably have those out there now, right?
Believe it or not, I can't imagine, but apparently they do. That's what they're telling me, so I don't know about it. I wouldn't be spending that money, but that's just what I'm hearing. So last time I follow you on social media. Right?
And you follow me in your car, but I've been trying not to act like I see you.
Well, I've been called a stalker before.
Sorry.
So there was some big conference I saw you walking around. I wasn't going to say walking the streets of Chicago, but...
No, I was not. I took an Uber.
Oh, you took an Uber, okay. So what's the conference there? And give us the takeaway being some of us couldn't go to all these things.
Okay, well actually I was at 2 conferences in Chicago. One of them was a Women's Council of Realtors. It was like a leadership academy sort of thing called Network 360, but that's just, Women's Council, Women's Council. Okay. The other one was the National Association in NAWRB, but the name doesn't really match that acronym, but I'm going to go with the acronym anyhow. National Association of Women in Real Estate Business. It's called something else with a real estate ecosystem, but, Desiree Patno will tell you all about that. Anyhow, it was a fantastic conference.
What do we learn from it, and what can we do to make money?
Opportunity zone, affordable housing investments that'll be tax-free if you hang in there for 10 years. So if you have a 1031 exchange and you don't want to roll it into another 1031 exchange, but you don't feel like giving away all your money to Uncle Sam, there are vehicles out there that you can invest in, things going on in opportunity zones throughout the country and affordable housing.
What is an opportunity zone?
Those are the areas that are more depressed than others. They have
Xanax. They solve that problem.
That kind of depression. We're not talking about you, Ron. We're talking about other people.
I usually bring it back to me. You know that.
I know that. But that was one of the items that were discussed, because something I had heard a little bit about, something that came up in the new tax laws. And there's people out there facilitating these things. Really some fantastic stuff can be done. Like if you put your money in and hold for 10 years, you get it all tax-free. I don't think there's too many things that you could do with that. That was one thing. We also had FEMA and Small Business Administration and USDA come out. They served on a panel. Fantastic. USDA. You can get...
Agriculture?
Yeah, they do home loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones with no money down.
I know that there's income restrictions, and I think, I don't really know that much about them, but I'm going to find out a heck of a lot more because it's fascinating.
Take my word for it. They're no money down.
Well, and
But it has to, and you have to call a lender or go on a website and find out if the address fits.
Exactly. And there are places in Orange County and outlying counties that you can get a USDA loan.
Hard to believe it. Santa Ana has USDA loans.
Yeah. And well, everything that's kind of burning up right now is, that area, all of the cabins and stuff out there, whether USDA area too. But it is something people don't talk about. And speaking of the fires, FEMA was there. And the Small Business Administration, you're probably saying, what the heck does the Small Business Administration have to do with wildfires? Well, everybody thinks about FEMA, coming out and giving the emergency help, when you have a flood or you have a fire, some kind of, catastrophic natural disaster. FEMA money is really hard to get because you're filling out like ridiculous amounts of paperwork, and you'll be lucky if you get somewhere between $4,000 to $6,000. And guess what, folks? That is not going to rebuild your house. That ain't going to take care of anything. Well, that cardboard box that you're in, Ron. Maybe we can do that. But however, the Small Business Administration has funds available up to $200,000 for a homeowner. That if you're affected by one of these situations, you can go to them. Paperwork level's a lot smaller. They're pretty darn nimble, and the details on it I can get you if anybody out there is interested, but they can help you. They have the funds available, and it's like the best kept secret out there. So those were just a couple of things I learned. We had, oh my gosh, Dottie Herman, the CEO from Douglas Elliman, was there talking. Tammy Bunnell, the CEO of Exit Realty. Just fantastic, fantastic speakers. So learn some really good stuff.
And we're going to talk more about it when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. If you are thinking you're going to close a home loan this week, yeah, I'm going to talk to you, give you some words of wisdom. It doesn't matter who the lender is. They're going to ask you for something new this week that you may not know about. We'll also talk more about some of these fires and other issues. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we will also chat about, are you thinking of selling your house? Competition is coming. What does that mean to you? And credit freezes will soon be free. We'll talk about that as well. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. NEST, N-E-S-T, 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Are you thinking of selling your home? Competition is coming. The number of building permits issued for single-family homes is the best indication of how many newly built homes will rise over the next few months, according to the latest U.S. Census Bureau and U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development residential sales report. The number of building permits issued in June was 850,000, a 0.8% increase from May. More inventory means more options. Mark Fleming, First American's chief economist, explained that this is good news for the housing market, especially for those looking to buy. The continued year-over-year growth in completions means more homes on the market in the short term, offering some immediate relief in alleviating housing supply shortages. More inventory means more competition today because of the tremendous lack of inventory. A seller can expect a great price on their home as buyers outbid each other. Quick sale as buyers have such little inventory to choose from. Fewer hassles as buyers don't want to rock the boat on the deal. A lot of different issues going on there as long as the properties are priced aggressively. And I've talked to you about that before. You want to make sure properties are priced aggressively to make sure these things happen. If you're considering selling your house, you'll want to beat this new competition in the market to ensure you get the most attention on your listing and the best price for your house. And obviously, to do all that, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with a great real estate professional in your neighborhood. That's the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. And hey, if you're thinking about buying, you want to find out, one of the biggest issues I see from people a lot of times is they don't know if they're going to qualify for a new home. Well, how about this one? 60 seconds and we'll be able to tell you. There's the short form application. Go to MBE Links, Mary Boy Edward Links.com. /60SECPQ. 60-second prequal. Take you 60 seconds to fill that out, and we'll be able to get back to you and let you know, do you qualify to buy a new home, and at approximately what kind of a price there as well. MBElinks.com /60SECPQ, second prequal. Back to our conversation with Lisa Dunn, Casabella Realty. So, Lisa, we were chatting a little bit about fires.
Fires.
Been another one of those horrible seasons, and I'm not going to get into my personal beliefs as to why we're seeing so many wildfires in California right now, but that's a whole different subject. Check out the social media channels on Ron Siegel Radio, and you can see some of my debates there with individuals. And some of it is not just most of it's my opinion.
Most of it's your opinion.
It's my opinion, but it also has to do with conversations I am fortunate enough to have with fire chiefs, firefighters, people in that industry. So that's the issue there. Let's chat though. Lisa, insurance, fires and insurance. What do we need to know?
Well, I think what you mentioned before is really what we need to discuss. If you have a house closing this week or the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we got to talk about this.
Oh my gosh, this is like crazy stuff, and we haven't had this happen in probably about a year since we had
the canyon fires.
Yeah, exactly. Was that just God? That was a year ago. Jeez,
it's October.
Okay. Why don't you get into that, Ron, and then we'll discuss the long-term ramifications.
So here's the issue: the whenever there's a natural disaster or a state of emergency is declared. Okay, a state of emergency is basically saying that Orange County, and the governor has declared Orange County a state of emergency. Lenders have an issue with lending money into an area where the properties might be on fire and their collateral may not be there. Interesting. So if that's the case,
they have to go out and be sure that it's still standing because they don't trust a map, I guess. It's a really weird phenomenon, and it happens in the counties that have been declared a disaster area, that the insurers will, or the mortgage company wants to go out and be sure that the house is still standing before they'll loan on it, which will hold the whole closing up, correct?
Right, absolutely. So you've got to send out the appraiser has to go back out and certify that, the property's still there.
Yeah.
So even if you're in Newport Beach where there thankfully has not been any fires, if you're trying to close a loan in Newport, they're going to want to know that the property's still there, and they generally will not close the loan until the natural disaster date, the expiration date, has been determined. Just a thought for you right there. So we want to really be careful of that issue. Because a lot of people are going to be affected by it.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Thank God mine closed before the fires started. So
exactly. So just be careful of that issue. If you're getting ready to close, ask the lender before you go and bring the moving company out and see if
this is a last minute thing.
Yeah.
That's one of those very last minute checks that the lender is going to make. So yeah, that, and also too, you may want to check your insurability if you are thinking about buying in areas that have been affected or close by areas that have been affected. In fact, we were seeing this before the fires, that a lot of the areas that are up against hillsides, maybe the house isn't directly up against the hillside, but relatively close, like maybe 4 or 5 streets away, maybe even a whole area. The insurance companies out there are not lending. And one of the things that I heard at the conference in Chicago was that that insurance companies in California haven't made a profit in the past 4 years. So a lot of these insurance companies are declining California coverage. They don't want to write policies in California. Nobody says that they have to write policies in California. So just because a house has a policy, because that's kind of an old standby we used to do in the transactions when, maybe a buyer was having a problem, finding an insurance company would say, oh, well, who's covering the house now? Let's go to ABC Insurance because they're covering the house currently for the seller. Well, ABC Insurance could be saying, I'm just so happy to get away from this property, forget it. And we're seeing that happen all the time. You can still get policies out there. I mean, if push comes to shove, you can go California Fair Plan, probably not something you really want to do.
California Fair Plan?
Don't ask me to elaborate because I can't. But I know it's out there and I know it exists.
So basically, California Fair Plan is properties have to have insurance.
They have to have insurance. If you're getting a loan, they have to have insurance.
So we see this a lot of times up in the mountain areas, Big Bear, Arrowhead, where our traditional insurance companies will not insure some of those areas. So what is the homeowner to do?
And we're seeing that happening in Orange County. We're seeing the...
Believe it or not, builders are actually causing the problem in many areas.
Well, because they're just building right into the hillsides.
Well, they are, but here's the other part. I just spoke to a insurance person recently. He said whenever we see a property that is on Sagebrush Lane, guess what? That's a red flag to the underwriters. Hey, do we want to be insuring? If we know that it's sagebrush, why else would they call it Sagebrush Lane?
I don't know. There's a lot of streets in Mission Viejo that the names mean absolutely nothing. So, you know, we can maybe pull some of those out of a hat and give them to the...
But one of the insurance people did tell me that was the exact issue, that they're looking at those things and saying, you know something, if it's got brush, we're concerned about the brush issue.
Yikes!
So back to the what's in the California Fire?
Well, the California Fair Plan is kind of like the last resort.
Right.
If you're getting a mortgage, you're going to have some insurance. You know, there's brokers out there. You know, a lot of people like to deal just like with the big name insurance companies. Those are the people that are getting annihilated right now on losses, because we've got more natural disasters going on with the wildfires and floods and everything. California in particular, what's our count at fires today? Like 18 that are going on right now?
Way too many.
Way too many. So that's going to really impact.
And one is too many if it's in your neighborhood.
Oh my gosh, tell me about that. I had clients whose home were backing up to the Cleveland National Forest, and it's not like a little cabin out there that was burning. We're talking tract homes.
Well, my uncle's in a tract, and he's got a fire engine sitting in his front yard.
Yeah, they had a bulldozer in their backyard, and I mean, that's reality.
Absolutely.
And if somebody's selling a house up in those neighborhoods, do you know how hard it's going to be to get some insurance for a while?
Absolutely.
And it's going to really affect the saleability of a lot of properties out there, and sellers need to be cognizant of that fact.
We're going to talk more about that when we come back. We're going to get to your question, Jeff, when we come back as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. What happens? Credit freezes will soon be free. What is a credit freeze?
Sounds like some kind of little cocktail you'd get after hours.
I wouldn't know. I don't drink.
That was a lender-specific drink.
I don't drink anymore, or any less.
Oh, touche,
you can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP 564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com. Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home with expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Just go get registered and they'll get you the information you need. If you need professional help, they've got that available as well. Not that kind of professional help, Lisa. I know.
No. We're going back to your depression problem, Ron.
There we go. I knew you were thinking about
Don't worry, that credit credit freeze is going to fix you up.
Exactly.
Just don't drink it too fast.
Yeah.
Got enough of a brain freeze going already.
Exactly. Credit freezes will soon be free, what it means and why it matters. So if you've ever stepped into the ring with an identity thief, you're probably familiar with a credit freeze. Credit freezes are incredibly helpful line of defense in protecting your credit. But like everything else that's good in life, these measures don't always come free. Luckily, Congress is taking steps to change that. We're going to chat about that. So what is a credit freeze? It's a nifty little tool that allows you to block any agency from checking your credit, making it impossible for imposters to open any line of credit under your name. If your credit has a freeze on it, you'll be notified if someone even attempts to open a line of credit using your information. While there isn't a credit penalty associated with a credit freeze, it could set you back up to $20 depending on what state you live in. That may seem like a small price to pay to protect your identity in times of panic, but for someone already in debilitating financial situations, it can be a source of stress. This is especially true considering freezes need to be placed on each of the big three credit reporting agencies. That would be Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now here in the state of confusion, we have our own source of stress relief.
What the hell is that?
Obviously, Miss Lisa is not familiar with the bong hit, but that is... Okay, so Congress is looking into making this a freebie. Okay, Lisa, we're going to have to...
I'm sorry, obviously you do. Okay.
Absolutely, because it says right here on my board.
Yeah, Ron.
Bong hit.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Way too much fun. Linda, we're going to have to see if we can have some more fun on this tomorrow. Eileen, good to see you with us there. So, John, let's try and get to the answer to your question.
John or Jeff?
Jeff. Well, okay, Jeff. I didn't have the bong yet. I promise. It's just
That's what you were doing before the show. Okay.
It was not a live part of the show. That was just a sound effect.
Hey, I thought it was something else, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, well, I don't want to know what you were thinking.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Rightfully so.
Okay, so Jeff was asking about the USDA loan. Yes, the USDA loan does have limits as to income. They're looking at median household income. They do talk about the income based on the county that one lives in, and they also look at how many individuals are living in the property. Last I looked at, they do change these things from time to time. So the last time I looked at it, if you have a family, say of 4 and plus grandma and grandpa are living there, that is 6 in the household. You go to the chart, it says this is how many people are in the house, 6 people. Household income is X. That's what you need to for qualifying for that USDA loan. And boy, Jeff, I don't know the part here where you say that it applies to 97% of America. That number surprises me. Now, it might be 97% geographically or land mass, but I know that it's a small slivers of Orange County. I know that there are...
I bet out where Jeff is out in East San Diego, it's probably pretty high.
Okay, San Diego County has...
Pretty high, probably just like you, Ron.
Guess Lisa's going to know what this one's sound effect is in the future.
Now. Okay. But I can find out more information for you on the USDA stuff. I've got a contact now.
Yeah, USDA is it's a good product for the right people. Remember that there's no down payment required. It does have a finance fee that's that's associated with it. So we'll chat more about that. But Lisa, I did want to chat a little bit because we don't have a whole lot of time left, but when we're dealing with real estate, one of the issues that we should chat about, because a lot of people miss this. You were talking earlier about rebuilding and using that SBA loan for that. The other issue, though, that we want to really be careful of, and I don't know how SBA probably does, they probably pick up the slack here, but an SBA loan, by definition, is a loan.
It is a loan.
Right? So you have to repay that. Insurance, if you get an insurance settlement, you're not repaying the insurance company. You pay your insurance premiums.
However, your insurance probably doesn't cover all of the losses out there. People, unless you're into the weeds in this stuff, you say, oh, I got homeowners insurance. That's going to cover everything. Well, guess what? Doesn't cover floods.
But wait a second. If we're dealing with a fire... where are you getting the flood from?
Well, let's just turn back that clock a little bit and look at Santa Barbara.
Okay.
They had those massive fires, and then the rainy season came, and then they had
Of course, rainy season by California definition.
Hey, well, you know what? After a fire, it doesn't take much.
Exactly.
And they had massive, massive losses with the flooding that occurred, the mudslides that happened, lots of loss of life, lots of loss of property. And if it is a flood-related situation that you have losses, your homeowner's insurance is not going to help you unless you have flood insurance, which is not really out there real easily to obtain, too.
Well, here's the issue is that many of us, and I was one of them, I said, well, we've got some property in the hills. And I looked at it and I said, okay, we're in the hills. How could you have a flood up in the top of the hills? Well, it's exactly what we're saying is the even higher up in the undeveloped areas had a fire. Now the water comes, and the water comes downhill and brings with it all that mud. And those mudslides now are not covered by your traditional homeowner's insurance unless you have flood insurance.
Yep.
So make sure that especially once you make sure your family is safe, they get the fires out. Fire department's doing a great job like they always do. Right? Now the next step is we want to make sure that we talk to your insurance agent and get that checkup. You want to make sure that you're covered for whatever it is that you're trying to solve for. Just a thought there.
Yeah, there's been talk. I know FEMA's really pushing hard for realtors to spread the word about having people get their credit scores up. And you're probably thinking, why does FEMA want people to get their credit scores up? And it's all about financial literacy. If you, the higher your credit score, the more you understand how the markets work, the more you're going to understand the importance of insurance. They're actually doing a lot of work just trying to educate the public as to why you should have insurance, and they find that there is a direct correlation with the FICO scores. Higher the FICO score, the more financial literacy, the more you understand why you should be insured. And something else that they were talking about was all hazard coverage. Your insurance policy, like us here in California, we're covered, but we don't cover for floods, and we don't cover for earthquakes in your normal homeowner policy. You have to get specific coverage, just like if you have expensive artwork or jewelry, you got to get coverage for earthquake, you got to get coverage for flood. And like you were saying, Ron, just because you're not in a flood zone right now, we don't even know what's going to happen if we get rain this year. I mean, it's scary to look at the hills. Yesterday we had a nice, relatively clear day, and I just looked at the hills from where the fires were, and they're just all just dark gray. The amount of potentially bad things that can happen is mind-boggling right now.
Absolutely, and all this heat doesn't help, but we'll continue these conversations. We want to make sure that you are educated. That's why we got you listening to Ron Siegel Radio, and that's why we ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day.
Hey, do a bong hit for the road.
We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio. I think we got that. I can do that for you, Lisa.
Okay, everything's right with the world.
On my knees, oh, I beg him, please.